happened a couple of days ago. Yourself and the club agreeing with the fact that you just about all but secured Ross to a long-term contract. Would like then to have that pulled out from us. A sense of embarrassment?
No, I don't think so. We were handling ourselves professionally. We're dealing with his management group. We had every reason to understand that there was an arrangement imminent. Embarrassed is certainly not the word. No.
You've seen the players in there this morning, Michael. Did you have a chance to speak to the group as a whole? And if so, what was their sort of mood and their reaction?
Yeah, we got the players together, the key players together this morning, and spoke to the players, and they were in. They're clearly disappointed. They have high regard for Ross. I mean, to get to where they've got to over the journey with Ross, a couple of grand finals, one drawn grand final, there's a very special bond between players and coaches. There's no doubt about that. So, our players are disappointed, but we've got a professional group. We're a professional football club. We'll move on quite quickly. All of our support staff are in place and contracted and staying. So, as Greg said, these organisations are greater than the individual, and St Kilda Football Club will move on. The players will be part of that, and we'll move forward.
Why do you think they need to have an interim coach?
Well, there's a lot of things that happen in football clubs during the course of the year. It's not a matter of just playing 22 games. We've got a lot of reviews going on at the moment. There's a range of activities. It's actually quite a busy period in football clubs. Trade periods, draft periods, assessment reviews, coach. There's a lot of things going on. So, just Robert's there just to make sure we can coordinate and ensure that the preparation of things is appropriately managed.
It's the sense that you're moving into a rebuild phase. Did that unnerve you, do you think, Ross? Do you think that he wasn't prepared for that challenge?
Oh, really a question for Ross.
Yeah, it is.
Are you moving into that phase, do you believe?
I think all football clubs are in a process of reinvigoration all the time. You've got to have one eye on the premiership and one eye on development, and I think St Kilda Football Club's no different to that.
Is it a lot easier to have that rebuilding phase though without Ross? Because from all reports, Ross was fairly controlling about things in the football department. Now that's not there, are you able to restructure a bit better?
We wanted to have Ross here for that process, and for that, we wanted to have Ross in our football club for the next 4 years. We've been very clear about that, so that question's really not in dispute.
Did the 4-year contract though come maybe a little bit late? I mean, you were talking over 2 years. I mean, had he decided, well, if they're not going to offer me 4, I'm out, and then you came forward with the 4 years?
No, we don't think so. I mean, Ross was a contracted coach. He had to the end of next year to run. We always stated during the course over the last 5 or 6 weeks that we felt that it was appropriate. We wanted Ross to stay, that we were looking to recontract Ross and giving him an extended period with the club. We were talking to his management, but we agreed between Ross, his management team and us that we would in fact put those discussions back sensibly until after the season. We did that, and we resumed that as of Monday, Tuesday. We thought we got to a position that was appropriate, that paid due respect to Ross. It was a 4-year arrangement, and Ross decided that he's obviously made a decision that wasn't something he wanted to take up.
Are you aware how long he was in discussions with Fremantle?
No idea.
You didn't give any indication?
No, look, we haven't had any discussion with Ross on that matter. We've been discussing Ross's arrangements with St Kilda Football Club, with his management group, ESP, very professional organisation, and we had no advice to any extent of any discussions that were going on with any other club.
Will Ross be welcome with the best and fairest, Michael?
Ross is always welcome at St Kilda Football Club.
Would you like to know for how long he's been in discussions with Freo?
Oh, look, it's not relevant to us. That's a matter for Ross. It's a personal matter for Ross. As I said, we're having discussions with professional, constructive discussions with his management group. We were hoping to announce an arrangement yesterday, and that's now, of course, not the case.
What do you say to all the fans who've been, I guess, shattered by the decision?
Fans that have been sorry?
We've shattered by his
Look, we've got 40,000 very loyal members. Football's a tough, challenging business. Our members are members because they love the St Kilda Football Club. And St Kilda Football Club, as Greg has pointed out, has been here for 138 years. It's got 40,000 members, 100 staff. This is a serious professional sporting organisation, and Greg and I work very hard to ensure that's the case.
Greg, you've had a lot of off-field dramas you've managed to battle your way through. How hard is this particular moment?
Well, I suppose it's like a series of events from our point of view. You just handle each one as it comes along. No different than anything else. It's a challenge, and we're up for the challenge. So it's really just a matter of moving forward. As far as we're concerned, it's all about the future now and what we do right tomorrow, the next day, and next year.
What was your emotions when you heard about it?
I was very disappointed. As you're probably well aware, I had a lot of faith in Ross, as the club did. And we expected him to be here for the long term. It would have been great to have had him here for another 4 or 5 years. But he chose not to do that, and that's his decision. We've got to respect that.
Michael, is one of the challenges list retention, given that trade may go only in the uncertainty of the playing group?
One of the challenges is list retention.
Retaining players, you don't want obviously players getting unsettled and walking out.
Yeah, no, look, we've got a very professional group of players at this club that play for St Kilda Football Club. Have great respect for Ross Lyons, but play for St Kilda Football Club. We had a meeting this morning, as we mentioned, and they're disappointed, but they're professionals, and we'll move on. As Greg said, we'll look to the future, and as of today, we're about what happens for St Kilda from here on.
Why haven't you asked Ross why he made the decision to leave? Isn't that important?
Well, look, we were dealing with Ross through his management group. Ross appointed a management group. So we were dealing through his management group. That's a question for Ross. You know, we've asked the question. That's a question for Ross.
But isn't it something that you'd like to know if there's a problem with the club?
Isn't it irrelevant now?
Yeah, look, I
Really,
think
it's irrelevant.
I think it's a bit irrelevant.
Because you're talking about history. We're talking about the future.
Given that you've seen, I suppose you said you had no idea Ross was talking to any other club, do you feel deceived? Because Kilda has been having discussions with Fremantle that you haven't known about. Do you feel deceived?
Oh, look, I don't think we feel deceived. I said, you know, as I've stated previously, there's a high level of respect for Ross. We don't feel deceived. If Ross has made decisions, they're decisions Ross has made. You know, Ross is entitled, and we respect that he has the right to make decisions about his future. It's certainly not something we see in any other light.
Are you confident you can retain other staff around the place? I'm talking like conditioning, strength conditioning.
Yeah, we're in good shape there. Our conditioning staff, Dave Misson, head of conditioning, will be with the club for a period of time. He's contracted. We've got all of our key support staff are in place. We're in really good shape. You know, the club from an organisational perspective is in great shape. Everybody's committed. They're professional. We'll move forward quite quickly.
With respect to talk about it being irrelevant, but how do you prevent it happening again if you don't know how it happened the first time?
You know, we're looking forward. We're looking at the future now. We'll put in place the program to take us forward. We've got a great organisation. We've got great staff. You know, I think it's, you know, pondering about those sort of things is irrelevant for us at this point.
Do you not need to find out though how it came to this?
We've been dealing with, as I said, I think I've answered the question. We've been dealing with Ross's management on those issues. Maybe that's a question for his management, and that's a question for Ross.
He made some list management decisions last week. Are those players got a right to feel aggrieved? He was planning to leave himself.
Look, I think we acknowledged at the time that discussion could have been managed a little differently. We've had discussions with those players around that. Clearly, a few of those players were looking to the back end of their career anyway, and a few of the younger players probably had played a fair bit of football last year or this year at Sandringham, and so there were decisions to be made on those sort of list decisions. But clearly, as we pointed out, the management of that last Saturday night could have been handled a little differently, with the benefit of hindsight.
Does the footy club and the playing group have to take some responsibility for Ross's decision, I guess, given the off-season dramas of last summer?
We don't know, again, why Ross made this decision. He's made the decision, so it's again a Ross question. You'd have to ask him.
Well, I guess do you have to examine, you know, things about the club? He made a decision that he doesn't want to be here, so then things that...
Well, we're forever trying to improve, right, as a club and the things that we do, and we'll certainly be doing that. But it's specifically, right, on the Ross issue, he's made a decision for whatever reason, and again, you'd have to ask him.
How quickly are you going to be in a position to start looking for that next coach and start interviewing, given the other three clubs are already interviewing and getting close to it?
We'll make an announcement early next week, what that structure will look like for us, and then we'll put our program in place. So we'll be able to mobilise pretty quickly.
Are you worried, though, that some clubs may announce in the next couple of days and that the talent pool does shrink in that time?
We think there's lots of talent out there. We'll put our program in place. We can only work to our timeline, not to anyone else's timeline. We'll move quite quickly. We can mobilise. We've got a great executive team. As we said, Nathan Burke, Andrew Thompson, myself, Chris Pelkin, who's joined us as well. We'll be organised next week. We'll make an announcement on the shape of that and the timetable for that, so we're comfortable that we can move to the extent we need to.
We've seen money be a major factor now in the last few weeks with regards to players, and we've seen in this case a coach also moving from the club. Is money infiltrating the game too much? Have we lost the spirit of the game, and is money taking over?
Or go and talk to Andrew Demetriou and see what he has to say about that. Who can say? Right? It is what it is. It's supply and demand, right? And you know the demand's very high, so therefore the prices tend to be high for players, right, and for coaches.
Is it making it harder though to run a football club with that in the background?
It's always a challenge, yeah, definitely.
Just finally, you both seem remarkably calm. I guess your supporters probably aren't feeling the same way, and people from the outside. Has there been moments of real anger in the last 12 to 15 hours?
I think we've had pretty strong support from key stakeholders in this club, and recognise that we're a professional football club. We try and manage our affairs in a composed way, and we'll continue to do that as best we can and to the best of our capability. So, we'd like our members to maintain the faith. I'm sure they will. They've been with us for a long, long time, and it's a great organisation. It's an institution, the St Kilda Football Club. We expect that that's not going to change. Our charter is to actually continue to grow and build and develop this club into what it needs to be over the journey.
Hello? Thank you.